7th no-hitter in Oakland A's history. Tonight, Manaea returns to the mound and faces a new challenge, the reigning world champion Houston Astros. Last October, the Astros captured their first World Series title in a dramatic 7-game series versus the Dodgers. So far here in 2018, the Astros have not slowed down. Manaea and the A's roll into Houston and open up a big 3-game set. Manaea and the world champions coming up next. Stop 2 on this 3-city trip for the A's is Minute Maid Park in downtown Houston. That is the home of the world champion Houston Astros. But we got a great pitching matchup tonight. Manaea and Keiko, couple of lefties. A's and the Astros coming up on NBC Sports California, powered by Xfinity. Hi again, everybody. Welcome to Oakland A's baseball. Along with Ray Fossey, I'm Glenn Kuiper. So Sean Manaea, his first start since the no-hitter. I don't know that necessarily comes into play tonight, Ray. He's probably feeling pretty confident, but he's also going up against a very good Astros team.
I think Johnny Vandermeer is okay. He threw back-to-back no-hitters. It would be great for Sean Manaea, but what he did in his last start last Saturday, spectacular for him to pitch a no-hitter against one of the best teams of baseball. Let's not forget that. He's facing another good team tonight. He beat maybe the best team in baseball, at least from the Red Sox standpoint. He did it in fashion, and what happens when you pitch a no-hitter? You get this. Our partner Dallas Braden got out of the way, but all these things happen. Probably the best thing for him to wear that hat, which is a special hat. He'd love to wear it again, but this is a very, very good team he's facing tonight, but he's already defeated the Red Sox.
All right, no World Series hangover so far for the Astros. Of course, they won it all last year. This year, Ray, they're 17-9. Yeah. And there's really nothing around it. They're a very, very good team.
They are a very good team, and you're right. They're coming into 2018 thinking that they are the team to beat. There's nothing better than what they're doing right here, celebrating a world championship, especially in a city that had never won a baseball world championship. The Houston Astros did in Game 7, like you said, a dramatic Game 7 to be able to become world champions, but they want to do it again, and I don't think there's such a thing as a hangover, and I think the Astros are proving that right now.
All right, and they will send the left-hander Dallas Keuchel to the mound, so indeed a marquee matchup tonight here at Minute Maid Park. Up next, we'll head back to the A's pregame live studios and then back to the ballpark here in Houston for lineups and first pitch.
By Toyota, designed for the grind that comes through every time. See your local Toyota dealer today. Toyota, let's go places. And by Jack in the Box. Try the new Cholula Buttery Jack, part of the Buttery Jack family. Only at Jack in the Box.
Welcome back to Minute Maid Park here in Houston, Texas. Sean Manaea has made the march in from the bullpen. He's ready to go, and so are we, and so are the Astros. They are on the field, and the game time weather for tonight is presented by the Santa Cruz Beach Boardwalk. The boardwalk is open. Visit beachboardwalk.com for park hours. Very nice in Houston, not too humid. It's 76 degrees, and the roof is open, which, quite frankly, makes a big difference. It's nice and pleasant.
It's beautiful, yeah.
Now, if you come here in June and July and August, it's very hot and humid, but not the case right now. Let's take a look at the lineup tonight for the Oakland Athletics. Here it is. It starts with Marcus Semien, then Chad Pinder, Jed Lowry's staying red hot, Chris Davis, Matt Chapman, Matt Olson, Mark Canha, Stephen Piscotty, Jonathan Lucroy. That's your A's lineup.
And the crafty left-hander, and I mean crafty because Dallas Keuchel, who last year actually had a tremendous April. This year, not so much, as he is 1-3, one of those non-run support guys, but he is very crafty, good changeup, good cut fastball. Definitely will not give in to hitters. A ground ball pitcher, and everybody knows what he's capable of doing.
So Keuchel has finished his warm-up tosses. We're set for baseball. The first meeting of the year between the A's and the Houston Astros.
I'm just checking last year's A.J. Hinch, the world champion manager from last year. And Dallas Keuchel, 4 starts against the A's last year. He had 39 ground ball outs. What does that tell you about his style of pitching?
That means he was on when he was facing the A's. First pitch of the game to Marcus Semien is in for a strike down around the knees. So we're underway from Minute Maid Park. Semien, Pinder, and Lowry for the A's. Off day yesterday here in Houston after the Athletics won 2 out of 3 in Arlington. 3-city trip with all the games against division opponents. We will be in Seattle Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday after this weekend. Quick 0-2 to Marcus Semien, hitting .278. He's got 3 home runs and 13 RBIs. Strike 3 called on 3 pitches. Semien strikes out.
But I don't think Marcus Semien liked this call, as Dan Bellino, the home plate umpire, made the call. And Dallas Keuchel didn't waste any pitches, 0-2 for sure. One of those that's probably too close to take. In fact, one of the things that we noted starting really against the Red Sox last weekend, a whole bunch of left-handed pitchers, and the A's have done quite well. The only right-hander they faced was on Wednesday night. That was Doug Fister, a game that the A's did lose. But the only one they did lose was last Friday when Drew Pomeranz started for the Red Sox.
And really, Drew Pomeranz did not pitch that well.
No, it was the bullpen, and they had 2 swings, and that was the difference in the game.
And they're sort of making their way through this string of games against left-handed pitchers. It'll start to get back to the right-handers. Final 2 games of this series for the Astros. 1-1 pitch to Chad Pinder's outside. Pinder getting the start in left field. He's hitting .281. Pinder with 9 hits and 32 at-bats. Couple of doubles. He has never had a hit against Keuchel in his career. He's 0 for 9. Towards shallow center where Marisnick comes in. Couple steps and he makes the catch. Let's check out the Astros defense behind Dallas Keuchel. And no surprise, it's a good defense. Reddick in left, Marisnick in center, Springer in right. Bregman, Correa, Altuve, Gurriel. That's the good infield, and Brian McCann is your catcher. So pretty much the regular lineup, except Marwin Gonzalez is usually out there somewhere.
Now, Kite, I want to ask you a question. You ever think that anybody could play more towards left center than what Josh Reddick is now?
No, that's a good
I've never seen I mean, hopefully we can show now the outfield alignment. Look at where Josh Reddick is playing.
And you know what? It's crazy, Ray. You look at it, you're like, oh my gosh. But if you're sitting where we are in this ballpark, it makes total sense.
Yeah, you're right. You're right.
Because the Crawford boxes in that left field wall are so close.
But
I think it's the right play.
Yeah. But that they're the Crawford boxes, the out-of-town scoreboard. Those are called the Crawford boxes. And you know, we've seen guys, outfielders, maybe go right to the edge, but that extreme over left center. Of course, they're playing Jed Lowry to go that direction.
Right to Altuve, who is shifted behind second base, and Keuchel has a 3-up, 3-down inning. Bottom of the first coming up. Sean Manaea, the owner of a no-hitter, steps to the mound. Astros in the bottom of the first inning. Lineup looks like this: Springer, Altuve, Correa, Gurriel, Bregman, McCann, Gaddis, Reddick, Marisnick. That's the Astros lineup.
And Sean Manaea, who made his major league debut against the Astros a couple years ago. That was the Coliseum, a no decision. It's pitched well against the Astros this year, making his 6th start. He is 3-2 on the season, and of course, what, 11 innings of no-hit baseball, right, going back to 2 innings his prior start before his last one, and that was against Seattle, which changeup has been the biggest pitch for him.
So as he faces George Springer, Altuve to follow, and then Correa.
And the nice thing is that his catcher, Jonathan Lucroy, caught him last Saturday.
Strike going 2, little tailing fastball.
The first 5 starts, Lucroy has caught Manaea 3 times, Maxwell the other 2. But the one thing Sean did not do last Saturday night was shake off any pitches at all.
Springer waves at a pitch, so on 3 pitches he strikes out.
And there's a good changeup, Cap. That's the one pitch that probably has turned Manaea's career around. And granted, still a very young career, but the changeup is a huge pitch as he pulls a string 0-2. And you get a good power hitter, leadoff hitter, George Springer, swinging at a pitch like that. That's a good way to start.
So 1 away for Jose Altuve. First pitch to Altuve is a fastball inside corner, first strike. Altuve 333 with a homer and 11 RBI, so he's off to a great start. Outfield has Canna shifted a little bit toward right center. That one is drilled toward left, headed for the Crawford boxes, but Pinder backs up and he makes the catch. So that's out number 2 here in the bottom of the first inning. Defensively for the A's, you see Pinder in left. He made the play on that last ball. Yeah, we mentioned Mark Canna. He's in center. Piscotty is in right. Chapman, Simeon, Lowry, and Olson on the infield, 3rd to 1st, with Lucroy catching. 2 quick outs here in the bottom of the first inning. As Carlos Correa digs in. Still digging in.
I've known pitchers in the past, you dig in that much, you'd be wiping the backside off because you might go down. Like you're digging your foothold and to do something.
Correa at 341, 4 homers and 19 RBIs. It's a strike. Tried it again and didn't miss by much. Manaea has the best ERA in the American League. Opponents are 0 for their last 38. Keep this in mind, Ray. You mentioned the 11 consecutive hitless innings. So the last hit against Sean Manaea was at Seattle, 15th of April. It was Motter's home run.
That's right.
Solo home run. That's the last one in the 5th inning.
They won 7 in the game.
Yep. So that's a while ago.
And in that game, he only threw 89 pitches.
And he only allowed 2 hits total. So keep this in mind just for fun tonight. Consecutive hitless innings in Oakland A's history. Blue Moon went over at 13, and then a whole bunch of guys at 11, including Sean Manaea. So he's got a shot. And he needs a little help, too. A line drive into the glove of Marcus Semien. Side retired. So both pitchers with 3 up, 3 down, first innings. Mile-per-hour fastball is our fast pitch, brought to you by Xfinity, the fastest Wi-Fi at home and on the go. Keiko with strikeout in the first, 3 up, 3 down inning. He'll face Davis, Chapman, and Olsen here in the 2nd inning. First pitch to Chris Davis is outside. A's come in 13 and 12. They're in 4th place, 3.5 games back in the AL West. They've won 8 out of 10. So playing good baseball as of late. On the road, they're 5 and 6. Against the West, they're 7 and 10. So all early season numbers. Game number 26 for the Athletics. Foul straight back by Chris Davis. Davis at 257 with 7 home runs, 23 RBIs. A couple of hits in that series against the Rangers, but One of them was a home run, and he knocked in 4. Chris Davis has the ability to do that. He may not get a lot of hits in a series, but he always seems to do some type of damage. Long run for Springer. He'll get there and he makes the catch.
Astros have a lot of speed, and Springer just showed it. But to your point, Cap, the 2-run home run to right center, the 2-run double down the left field line for Chris Davis, using the whole field. This time a little bit late on the pitch, and George Springer able to run it down to right field. Hey, Josh Reddick has a spot. X marks the spot in left center. He's not moving.
Nope.
Doesn't matter who's out there.
That's interesting. We'll see if he plays there most of the time. And the thing is, Ray, is the Astros, like every other team, a lot of analytics now, and they have lots and lots of information. There's a very strong reason, I'm sure, why they're doing this.
But I think
it's not something they're trying out.
Yeah, and you know, as you talked about with Joey Gallo, how the Astros use 4 outfielders, but not here, and you can understand why that's not here.
But check it out. This is where Reddick's playing in what is really straightaway left center field, if there is such a thing.
Exactly, and very close to being center field. And almost just taking away completely the left field area.
But I think, I mean, we've been here a lot, Ray. There's, I mean, just as a math equation, there's more balls that go to left center than balls that go right down the line.
Exactly. And if it's down the line, it's a double.
Exactly.
If not a home run, it depends on the elevation.
The only chance, I'm just trying to think, where could you get burned here defensively? And really the only play that could hurt you would be maybe a high fly ball or a fly ball down the line that Reddick just doesn't have the ability to get to. But how often does that happen?
Very rarely, yeah.
Right?
And if it's the high fly ball, it's probably going to be in the seats. Very short distance to left field.
Strike 3 call. I think Chapman knew it. Second strikeout for Keiko, both looking.
Chapman got him last year, but this time fastball, you have to wonder what you're looking for. I mean, this is center cut. Again, probably want to go towards the inside a little bit more, but it ended up being down the middle. Keiko, not a huge strikeout pitcher, more of a ground ball. You can see the fastball 57%. He'll throw the curve, the cutter, and the changeup. Really the fastball and the cutter, and the changeup occasionally. But he is not overpowering.
He really is a craftsman out there, though, isn't he?
And he it's basically just tries to carve up the strike zone, eliminate the middle part of the strike zone, as good pitchers do.
He's got some Tom Glavine in him, don't you?
Oh, yeah. Just doesn't have the umpire that Glavine had. Or the strike zone that was allowed.
Pitchcast is brought to you by SoFi, a modern finance company. Full shift on for Olson. He hits it the other way, but right to, that's Bregman, the third baseman, who's playing at the shortstop spot. So 6 up, 6 down for Dallas Keuchel. Bottom of the second coming up, no score. SportsCalifornia.com and the NBC Sports app, presented by your NorCal Honda dealers. Folks looking for their seats here at Minute Maid Park. World champion Houston Astros. Astros last year won 101 games during the regular season, and they won the West by 21 games, so they had the division wrapped up right around the All-Star break, I think.
Well, sometimes it makes it hard to win, but there's that flag that had never been flown here in Houston for, well, the Astrodome or Minute Maid Park. A World Championship flag.
Astros beat the Red Sox in the division series 3-1. They beat the Yankees in the ALCS. That was quite a series. They won it in 7 games, and then of course beat the Dodgers in 7 games for that first ever World Championship. So the ALCS and the World Series, terrific. This one's driven right center. It's hit a ton. Canna into the corner, and then Piscotty, or into the gap in right center, and Piscotty ends up making the catch.
And there was also a miscommunication. Very close to being, they're talking about it. Canna went over. Piscotty kind of stopped a little bit. Fortunately kept running because this ball hit a ton. And this is one of the reasons they bunched towards that area. Canna there, Piscotty, and I got it, you take it. Fortunately somebody caught it. And Piscotty looking and saying, I got it, but you can see how he shortened up a little bit, thinking that a center fielder usually takes charge. And I think that's why Piscotty was deferring a little bit too. Canna in center field.
So nice defensive play by Piscotty. With 1 out, Bregman hits. Bregman at 263. He's got a home run. He was one of the many heroes in the World Series, but he had some big hits.
Okay, if you talked about you mentioned the magic number 7. That means you're going to game 7 in back-to-back series. And I always think of the late Walter Haas, who owned the ball club 3 consecutive years.
In time. So interesting transactions made yesterday by the Athletics, Ray, something we should certainly talk about. Kendall Graveman was optioned to AAA. Chris Bassett was optioned to AAA. Wilmer Font was added to the roster, so he is in the bullpen. That was yesterday. Today, Danny Kalum is back, Yusmeiro Petit is back, and Ryan Buchter is on the disabled. So it was a busy, about 36 hours for the Athletics. They had a lot of, decisions to make.
I think the shocker was Kendall Graveman, starting pitcher for the A's opening day last year. This year, he went to AAA in 2015. He was sent back, but that year, this guy named Barry Zito was there and really helped Kendall Graveman.
Yeah, and that was also his rookie year. It's a little bit different situation now.
But I asked the skipper, Bob Melvin, about that, because one of the toughest jobs for a manager to have to tell somebody like that. And it had to be hard, because the last thing I'm sure Kendall Graveman thought that the man was going to be calling him in the office and saying you're going to AAA, and he figures they're going to make 2 or 3 starts and probably be back. And the A's will need another starter either Wednesday, for sure next Saturday, depending how they use the off day yesterday and the off day Monday.
So right now the A's have 9 relievers and 4 starters. So we'll see how the rotation fits as we move on. But Kendall Graveman, hopefully he can get things worked out in AAA. No score after 2.
package. You can check out the newly renovated 24-person suite, all-exclusive high-end food and drink, plus parking. You get to take the field for the pregame. Scoreboard message, how about 24 hats for your group? All you have to do is visit athletics.com for more information. What a deal. Suites are the best. You get a chance to kind of hang out and talk about whatever you want to talk about with your 24 or 23 of your friends, if you have that many. Otherwise, get somebody on the parking lot. Say, hey, come on to my suite.
Be my friend. Yeah. Correa has it, fires across. So Canna on 1 pitch is retired. So to finish up the conversation on Kendall Graveman and moving forward, Ray, it sounded today like Bob Melvin and you had hit on a little bit. It was going to maybe, in the front office, maybe wait till Monday and then start putting together the rotation for the moving past on Monday.
Right, and it sounds.
See what happens this weekend.
Yeah, because you start back. I mean, you could go back to Thursday. Actually, was when he pitched Wednesday, so you can take the day and then you fast forward. He has to stay at least 10 days. Well, that would take him to the weekend, Coliseum against the Orioles. But sounds like it's more of letting him get down there, make 2 or 3 starts, feeling comfortable before he comes back. And you know, to be honest, he pitched his best game Wednesday. Sure. His last game, he pitched well. And I would think if there's a disappointment, and again, I'm speaking only from myself and thinking about this, that he pitched well, felt like he was starting to put things together, and then he goes to AAA. So the most important thing, if you have options, you have to realize this can't happen. But if you go down there, you go down for a purpose, and that is to get back here as quickly as possible, and I'm sure Kendall will do that.
And he's also trying some new things, new mechanics, changing a few things. And Bregman behind the bag, long throw, and gets Piscotty. But if you're trying to implement maybe some new mechanics and you're trying to do that at the big league level at the end of April, that's hard to do.
Well, it's true, and we mentioned 2015, and you correctly stated about being a rookie, and Barry Zito was there. Barry have to with the mental side. Barry was very good as a pitcher between the ears. He's very good as a pitcher, but sometimes you need to be able to talk to somebody who's had the experience that Barry Zito had in his career, and he was very willing to talk to Kendall many times, and I'm sure helped him from that standpoint. And now he has to go down and maybe figure out these new things that he's doing with his windup and get on track and get back here.
Well, and another name to keep an eye on, Ray, is Brett Anderson. Brett Anderson's made 4 starts down in AAA. And he's done a pretty good job. ERA's under 2. His last start was 6 innings on Wednesday. So we don't know this for sure, but it could be that we may see Brett Anderson next week at some point starting a game.
Trevor Cahill came up. He had an out in his contract. In other words, he signed, and if he's not in the big leagues at a certain time, he has an out.
Becomes a free agent.
Free agent, essentially, which means that other clubs could sign him. And I would think, and don't know for sure, and maybe David Forrest is listening and can let us know just what the contract status is for Brett Anderson. But if he has an out, I can't see where a major league pitcher would go to AAA and say, I'm willing to stay here all season. Barry Zito did, which was a different situation. But we shall see what the A's decide to do next week.
Lucroy rolls at foul, so 1-2 the count.
Right now trying to beat a very good club, and you'd have to think the Astros, and I remember when the Indians were playing so well, and I remember hearing someone say, well, you really have to beat the A's, they're not that good. Well, you know, everybody's beatable. I mean, you can beat anybody, as the A's found out over the weekend against Boston. And, you know, they're teams that you don't expect are going to beat you, end up beating you. So you play every game as if it is the 7th game of the World Series. And I'm sure the Astros are feeling pretty comfortable about facing the A's this weekend and a chance maybe to increase their lead in the American League West.
1-2 pitch is a little bit low.
So I had the great Hall of Fame manager, Tony Russo. How you feel, Tony? Says, I'll let you know in 3 hours. Yep. Because it was always at the end of the game before he'd tell you just how he felt.
And you know what? If that's the perception that teams have of your team, then you need to change that.
Absolutely. Right? And the best way to change is to beat them. Right. And remember, guys, last September, remember the Astros came in, played a double, actually 4-game series. A's crushed them.
A's beat them up bad. Yeah.
The first game was 9-8. Then after that, it was 11-1, 11-1, 10-2. Sure. Keuchel was the final starter in that. They didn't have him. He didn't pitch. But they did have a pretty good staff, of course, world champions. And there it is.
They outscored them 41-15 in that series at the beginning of April, or beginning of September, excuse me.
But I think that was the big shock for the Astros to come in and have that happen to them.
Well, it probably hadn't happened to them all year.
No, it hadn't. I mean, they were skating along. And, you know, it maybe helped them to the point that, hey, maybe if the A's can sweep us 4 straight, which is hard to do, even 3, then maybe it should pick up a little bit. A.J. Hinch did. Took it to Game 7, world champions.
And that one off of Keuchel. He's a Gold Glover. He scrambles after it. He flips it. And Gurriel hangs on side retired. And then we'll see if Keuchel's okay. That ball's hit hard. And Keuchel has 3 Gold Gloves. And he just showed why right there. That's a very nice play. No score, bottom of the 3rd. Dallas Keuchel. This is the play to end the inning, and it looked like it got him right, maybe like in the bicep area.
Yes, some plays. I mean, for it to carry him all the way over to the first baseline, and what a play by Keuchel to flip the ball. And you're correct, 3-time Gold Glover, but up the line, flipping the backhand. Gurriel staying in, catching the ball and getting out of the way. That's a pretty good play.
Yep. First pitch to Evan Gattis, pop foul back. Gattis, Reddick, Marisnik, the bottom 3. For the Astros. Astros come in with a 17-9 record. That's the 2nd best record in the American League behind the Boston Red Sox. Roll foul. And they are playing well. They have won 7 out of their last 9. Astros had a 6-game winning streak, and then they lost 2 out of 3 to the Angels. And that was Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. They had yesterday off, just like the Athletics did. Swing and a miss. 0-2 pitch. And Evan Gattis is retired. Well, NBC Sports California has come out. The A's top 50 most memorable moments in Oakland. Now, we want the fans to pick the most memorable moment. It's a season-long promotion. Tonight, it's the Ramon Hernandez walk-off bunt in the 12th inning 2003 ALDS Game 1 against the Red Sox. Against Grant Balfour sets the A's record for consecutive saves, 41. That was in 2013. Fans vote through our A's Twitter poll. Play that wins advances to face the next memorable moment. So it looks like right now the hot play is the Ramon Hernandez walk-off bunt in the 12th inning.
Should be.
That's moved through a couple stages.
Talking about an element of surprise.
But let's not count out the crazy Aussie. Our good friend Grant Balfour.
Yeah. Well, just him taking the tour around the outfield in 12. And this guy also, Josh Reddick, a big season. And big season for the Astros last year for Josh Reddick.
It's funny, you look back on those teams, right? A lot of good players, but and granted that 3-year stretch, there was a lot of wins for the A's, but I think when you're there and the season's going on, maybe you don't think quite as much about it. But now when you look back, there's some characters on this team. If you think about Balfour and Reddick,
Brandon Inge,
and Inge, and Cespedes, and Donaldson, you know, he was fun to have around.
And Bernie.
I'm just talking about the characters on the team. That was a pretty good group.
Yeah, Brandon Moss.
Yeah, Brandon Moss, exactly. So they had a lot of fun.
But you know, you did the Bernie Lynn and you get the real Bernie to come.
Bernie, that was good. There was a lot going on that year, I tell you.
Funny thing, he was sitting down at diamond level. Everybody put up the fake faces. He was sitting there, nobody even knew him.
And the funny part about it is the actor who was you know, a weekend from Bernie, he was like, wow, I'm popular again.
Right.
What happened?
Yeah.
Here I am at the Coliseum in Oakland.
And I'm
he
alive.
Took it all in, man.
I'm alive.
Terry Kaiser.
Yeah.
That was the actor who he had the Coliseum rocket. And Marisnik strikes out. I think we got a new record, don't
Yes,
we?
we do. Talk
12
about that.
consecutive hitless innings for Sean Manaea.
Office or on the go with MLB.tv. It's your subscription includes MLB at Bat Premium, allowing you to watch live baseball on your favorite supported devices. Blackout and other restrictions apply. Visit MLB.tv for details.
Top of the order for the A's here in the top of the fourth. I want to correct myself, Ray. When we were going to break, I said Sean Manaea has got the new record, and he does. It's not 12, it's 14. So
John Blue Moon Modem, if you're watching, you're second.
let's not make Blue Moon mad.
No, we're not going to make him angry.
But everybody likes to have a record,
Yeah.
although he's had it since 1968.
Wow, it's time, Mooney.
Yeah.
Time. Sean Manaea, 14
there it is.
consecutive. John Blue Moon Odom, Moscoso, Holtzman, Vida, and Sprague. It's Sprague. Guillermo Moscoso. Right there. It's Sprague up in the Valley, Stockton area, where his son Junior works for the A's in the organization, the minor league organization. Junior.
2-1 to Marcus Semien, who struck out looking his first at bat. He rips one foul. 2 strikeouts for Keuchel. And he's got 5 ground ball outs. That is his thing.
Yes, he does. 3 of those coming, actually the last 4 outs have been on the ground.
Keuchel, the 2015 Cy Young Award winner. So he's got that going for him, and that one on the inside corner, strike 3 call. So that is 3 strikeouts for Dallas Keuchel. Ground ball percentage leaders, a lot of yellow. That means we're highlighting them. That usually means it's one of the 2 teams on the field. In this case, it's the Astros. Morton, Keuchel, McCullers, Graben.
Morton's not pitching. McCullers tomorrow. And Keuchel tonight. So, and Keuchel's 3rd on the list.
But you watch him pitch, and if you're a true baseball fan of pitching, I mean, he's really fun to watch.
Yes, he is.
You've got a full idea what he's doing. He does not throw real hard. He works in and out, up and down. He sinks the ball. He's got a good ERA this year, but he has only 1 win. But in the 3 losses that he has, the Astros have scored a total of 3 runs. His ERA is 3.10. Hit hard, but right to Bregman. 2 away. A's have seen him a lot, obviously being in the same division, Dallas Keuchel. His last 12 starts against the A's, 5-1 with a 1.76 ERA.
Well, the loss came last September the 10th, whenever he was defeated with that 4-game sweep.
Look at that rate. Ground ball outs 156, innings 87. So that's almost 2 ground balls per inning.
That's right.
A little bit outside on a close pitch to Lowry, who grounded out to second.
Tender hit a ball to center field. That is the only ball that's left the infield against Keuchel.
That one floats outside, so now 2-0 to Lowry.
Well, Keuchel seems to be the type of pitcher that will hold a little bit in reserve. Occasionally he'll rear back and throw a little bit harder, but just tries to turn the ball over, 2-seam, change up, cutter, and then occasionally rears back and throws a 90-mile-an-hour fastball, which seems like 100 miles. Mike Mussina, I remember talking to him, he said, I never throw more than 90% until I need it. Always hold it 10% in the tank.
See, there's an art to being able to do that, too.
Exactly. Because from the hitter standpoint, you're off balance because here comes 99 and all of a sudden 100.
This one taps solely. Correa gets a big hop, fires it across in time. 12 up, 12 down for Dallas Keuchel. So both pitchers sharp tonight. Corey Seager of the Dodgers grounds out to Jose Altuve, who threw to Gurriel for the final out. Astros win their first World Championship, ending their 56-year drought. And there it is. They went to Dodger Stadium and won Game 7. How about that? So again, congratulations to the Astros. They've been here since 1962 when they were the Colt 45s.
Haven't heard where the baseball that Gurriel caught, where that went. That's a pretty special baseball.
Springer, Altuve, and Carlos Correa. This one bounced to Simeon. Backhands. Throws across. The throw is very wide. Springer dives. He's safe. Well, that's a heads-up play by George Springer.
Yes, it was. And to be able to go down, and you think that he touched the base, but when he went to the head-first slide, because the throw up the line by going head first, touched the bag with the left hand. And Bob Melvin holding up to see maybe it tagged it, but I think he completely missed it. So the first base runner, he's 6.
So that's the 16th error of the year by the Athletics. And for Marcus Semien, that's his 5th. So leadoff man aboard changes things, and here's Altuve, and he hits a very high fly ball, right field, deep. Piscotty near the wall, and he's got it. Springer tags. Springer's going to try for second, and he's going to get there. So Springer, he read it where you could see Piscotty settling underneath it on the warning track, and he alertly tagged up and went to second.
And Piscotty knew it also. He knows the speed of Springer and throw a little bit offline, and Springer hustling all the way as he did the head first slide here. And you could see as the fingers go into the bag that put the fingers up and catch the bag with the palm, which is smart.
So runner at second, 1 away. Here's Carlos Correa. So a runner in scoring position for the first time for either team in this game. First pitch is outside.
Well, you're right. Fly ball to right field. He looks and sees that it's not going to be out of the park. And so immediately hustling back as soon as the ball is caught by Piscotty. Head first down all the way to second. And a quick throw by Piscotty and not on target. Had it been, might have been a closer.
See, Ray, I don't think there's a lot of players out there, even guys with speed, that would have done that.
You're right.
The little things. Astros play with they play with the little extra. It's like they have an extra gear.
You know, the one word probably to think about the Astros, they're athletic. They're very athletic, and there's a perfect example of speed by Springer. And the fact that Sean Manaea even has to pay attention to him with Correa at the plate, who is an outstanding hitter. You know, first base runner, but also means that Manaea is out of the stretch for the first time. That was in the 4th inning, the controversial play. Simeon in Boston with the fly ball to left field. With his back to the infield.
Strike on the inside corner, 1-2. Correa lined out to the shortstop to end the first inning.
Well, he went outside, then inside, and that's a great pitch on the inside part of the plate, just at 91 with the velocity of the fastball, but location is the key.
Correa, base hit right field. Here comes Springer. Here comes Piscotty, but he misplays it. So Springer will score without a throw, and the Astros lead 1-0.
But very good hitting, and this is why the Astros do what they do the best. And this pitch outside doesn't try to pull the ball. And into right field, Piscotty might have had a play at the plate. At least he would have attempted it. But at that point, when he did not come up with it, scoring easily was Springer, and at least Correa not able to take the extra base.
So Correa gets his 20th RBI, and here's Yuli Gurriel. Yeah, you know what, Ray? I think there would have been a play at the plate. Springer's got great speed, but
it's always hit hard.
Watch where Springer is when Piscotty gets the ball. He's not. He's a step from third base. There's no question there's going to be a play at the plate.
And play the ball off the grass and take a chance.
And that one's hit toward Cannon, right center. Cannon hustling over, and he makes the catch. Gurriel hit that ball well.
Well, he's the scary one. He hit the ball to right center, to warning track. Very free swinger. Cannon with the cheat sheet in his hat, taking a look to see where to play Bregman.
So first hit allowed in the last 47 batters faced.
He's probably more concerned about the hit driving in a run than anything. But you were correct, Kite, but the hustle by Springer helped him score, because that had been first and third, although probably would have scored on Gurriel's ball, but he could also have hit a ground ball for double play.
And we should not forget that the inning started with an error.
Yep.
Bregman grounded out to Chapman in the second inning.
So Johnny Vandermeer is safe again.
Yep. Johnny's going to be okay.
Oh, I think Johnny's going to be okay for a long time.
2 consecutive no-hitters.
It's a tie.
Yeah, that's right.
But you were reading, Cap, I'm sure that was when he pitched those no-hitters. It was against, I think, Brooklyn, Dodgers, and somebody else.
Well, I think this. I want to say the second one, and I'm guessing here, but I want to say the second one was against the Brooklyn Dodgers, and it was like the first night game at Ebbets Field.
Well,
or something like that.
What they talked about is how the 2 teams that Vandermeer pitched the no-hitters against were not anything close to the Red Sox and the Astros.
Probably not.
But I mean, a no-hitter's a no-hitter. I don't care who you throw it against. You still have to pitch, and I'm sure even then it was quite an accomplishment, as it's been something forever. Back-to-back no-hitters. Amazing thing, if you do it, you just tie him. You break the record. Now Sean Manaea knows that Keiko is pitching well. He's got to get out of this inning, trying to keep it just the 1 run. And the way the Astros are going, I would think that Bregman's going to have the green light. With McCann, the lefty, in the on-deck circle. Perfect time to let the right-hander have the green light.
And he did have the green light. Fouls it just over to our right. So 3-1 the count to the young third baseman for the Astros, Alex Bregman. Bregman, a very high draft pick. He was the second player taken in the 2015 draft. He did not spend a lot of time in the minor leagues. He got to the big leagues in 2016.
I kept thinking about Springer scoring, and talk about third base coaches and aggressiveness. Well, Gary Pettis, one of the most aggressive, and he had his arm waving to wave Springer home before he got the bag, like you said. And so he was going to send him, and got a lot of credit in the postseason last year. And congratulations to Gary, his son. Of course, Gary, a 5-time Gold Glove winner, but he's got a football player in the family, Dante, who was drafted by
the San Francisco 49ers just a little while ago. He was the 44th player taken in the NFL draft. So the Niners got him in the second round. Dante Pettis.
Gary said, I'm going to be in the clubhouse at game time because I figure I'm going to be ready to watch it with my son. He saw him get drafted.
It was right before first pitch. Bregman takes low.
You know, Kev, you talked about it, and Scott Emerson's going to visit with Sean, and I probably more than anything just to kind of settle him down. An inning that really started not because of him, but he gets a walk. But I wasn't aware that in the draft of the football players, and you had mentioned, I think that they are out in December and they work well. Gary said that his son took 2 months to prepare for the combine. I guess, is that something?
That's a big deal, yeah. That's a pretty big deal.
They show what they're going to do or how they're going to play. And because I asked Gary if his son, he said he will finish his education, but he took the time off to go to the combine to get ready, I guess, so that they could check. What is it, a showcase for the scouts?
They send all the best players there and kind of run them through the gauntlet for a couple days.
Is that it? Yeah. Well, he took the 2 months to prepare for it. So right now, Sean, preparing for McCann, trying to get out of this inning.
So 2 on, 2 out, a run in for the Astros. Manaea trying to get Brian McCann.
You know, that move back to second, if you see where Chapman is playing way off the bag at third, of course with 2 outs, but you could also have 2 runners in scoring position with Bregman following it should Correa take off to third. That's what the shifts will do.
And Lucroy
across it.
Well, he blocked it. He still can't find it, but the runners don't know what to do because the ball was a foot away from Lucroy. I don't know that I've ever seen that before. Correa at second, he's like, I want to go.
He's faking me. He's deking me.
And Lucroy just could not find it, and it was right at his feet.
And this is legitimate. See, Bregman almost took off. Correa, what do I do? And he's probably saying, he's deking me. I'm not going to fall for this. But Lucroy did not know where it was. He's looking around, and everybody's pointing. He says, what do you mean pointing? Help me. Where is it? Come get it.
Under the mask. Swing and a miss, 1-1.
Oh, that's a horrible feeling, because people are pointing. What are you pointing at? Just run to it. But you're saying it's right below your feet. Can't you see it? No, I can't. I wouldn't be running around like I am. By the way, it was a very good block by Lucroy.
Swing and a miss again. So McCann has chased twice. 1-2 the count.
And we talked before about Sean Manaea when he throws a slider, throw it hard on the lefties, and this is a great example right here. It looks good, ends up bad, but it's not left on the inner part of the plate for a lefty to crush it, which McCann is very capable.
Correa at second, Bregman at first. And he got him. He went upstairs with a fastball. So strikeout number 4 for Manaea, but a run for the Astros. It was an unearned run. 1-0 Houston.
NBC Sports California is brought to you by the Chrysler Pacifica Hybrid, America's first hybrid minivan. Test drive one today.
1-0 the Astros lead. It is the top of the 5th inning. Dallas Keuchel, shutdown inning opportunity. The A's just trying to get a base runner. 12 consecutive hitters. 12 hitters have come up for the A's, and they've all been retired. 3 strikeouts. I got 7 ground ball outs. Does that sound right, Ray?
Exactly right.
Strike on the outside corner. 1-1 the count. 48 pitches for Keuchel. Keuchel is 30 years old. He'll be 31 in January, and as Ray and I mentioned, he will be a free agent at the end of this year. He's got a Cy Young, so he's got a pretty nice resume.
And a world championship, which is always important.
That one rolled left side, comes up a little bit for Bregman, and that's the first out. So that leads you to the next question, Ray. What kind of contract would Dallas Keuchel get, or will he get? Whether it's with the Astros or he goes out on the open market.
I would say if the Astros offer him a multi-year contract extension, better take it. I mean, you have to think about 30 now being the magical age. Yeah. Are you on the backside of your career, and are you going to get a huge contract? Because your age, and it factors in big time.
How about factoring in what happened with free agency this past offseason?
That's probably the biggest thing.
But it's become a tough call for a player now, because there is still a small group of guys who got a lot of money this past offseason, even though other guys that you thought were going to didn't. Right. But are you sure you're going to be one of those guys? Now, I looked at the contract of Yu Darvish, right? He got a 6-year, $126 million contract from the Cubs. He's 31 right now, so he's a year older than Keuchel. They have relatively the same career record. And that one is drilled. Crawford boxes, and it's gone. Wow. Matt Chapman, a bullet into the seats, and this game is tied.
That didn't take long, did it? Whew.
No, that did not take long at all.
Wow.
So Chapman gets his 6th home run.
Well, swung on, gone. That was about all you could say. Fortunately, it was high enough to get over the Crawford boxes, because it might have knocked down the scoreboard if it had hit it. That's how hard it was hit. What a shot by Matt Chapman. Well, 4 tied the game, and that one just tied it. That's a big home run.
So a 1-1 game with Matt Olson hitting. Swing and a miss. 0-2. Olson grounded out. Grounded out to the shortstop position that Bregman was playing. Look out.
Well, that's a bullet. That's a line drive. And you know, sometime, and I think of Fenway Park, the Green Monster. Great captain Sal Bando in '75 hit a ton of balls off the Green Monster that were singles.
Sure.
And as hard as that one was hit by Matt Olson, fortunately, it got up high enough to get into the Crawford boxes.
So 2 outs for Mark Canha, but to finish the thought on Keuchel, Ray, Darvish has a 56-44 career record. Keuchel has a 65-55 career record. So similar, right? A year apart in age. Keuchel, Gold Glove, and Keuchel has shown that he's pitched well in postseason. Darvish has not. And I'm just using Darvish as kind of a comp, but then you say, well, is Keuchel going to get that kind of contract? Maybe, maybe not. It tells me, and I thought it at the time, Yu Darvish is a lucky man.
Thank you. How about Carlos Santana?
Very lucky.
There's a few lucky.
But at least Santana, I mean, I think Santana, there's.
And playing every day.
Yeah, and his was a 3-year deal.
Right.
Darvish is a 6-year deal, and this is not a. We're not bashing Yu Darvish. It's just it's a $126 million contract. He's scuffling a little bit with the Cubs. One pitch just down and away to Canha. 3-1.
Well, how about StatCast on Matt Chapman? 112 with a 20 degree and 366 feet in about a half a second. first home run this year against a lefty.
That's right.
5 previous have all come against righties. And when we show Wilmer Font, we show the home run he hit off him in Los Angeles.
Yeah, nice play by Bregman. Side retired, but the ace tied on Matt Chapman's 6th home run of the year. A line shot into the first row of the Crawford boxes. Bottom of the 5th coming up. We got a new ball game. It's tied at 1. One, bottom of the 5th inning. Manaea facing Gaddis, Reddick, Marisnick. First pitch outside. We'll see if Sean Manaea can get a shutdown inning. 6 out of 7 so far this year. Keuchel could not get a shutdown inning. Line drive, but Chapman grabs it, 1 away. So Gaddis 0 for 2, and here's Reddick.
More and more hitters wearing the facial protection. And Gaddis another one this year. A lot of the Astros players last year started to wear the protection after Chris Iannetta was hit last year as the catcher for the Arizona Diamondbacks. A lot of players are doing it, and I can't blame them really. Those especially are concerned about the ball coming in on them.
First pitch to Reddick, floats inside. Reddick fouled out in the 3rd inning. Josh Reddick, of course, a big WWF fan, a big wrestling fan. He loves it. Everybody knows that. The problem with that is here in Houston, they do the Ric Flair sound. Reddick, Manaea, not going to get there. So Reddick hustling down the line, nicely placed bunt.
There it is.
There it is. So that's going to be a hit.
And see, he dragged the ball. It wasn't a push bunt with the shift. He dragged it. And as we have said, with Manaea falling off, Olsen catching it, trying to feed it. He was not going to beat him out anyway. And that is a very good bunt by Josh Reddick. And lefty on lefty, not a bad thing to try. 1 out. But Josh Reddick, he's a smart hitter.
Yep.
Did it last year, the game winner for the Astros over the Red Sox, as the shift was employed by the Red Sox with Craig Kimbrell on the mound. He went to left field with a base hit, right where the shortstop would be playing.
So here's Marisnick. He shows bunt and takes a strike. Yeah, so you hear that sound effect when Reddick comes up. People in Houston do it a lot.
Did he not bring the guy? Wasn't he here last year?
Ric Flair, yeah, he's a former big-time wrestler, and that was his rallying cry. Marisnick struck out swinging in the third. And that one is belted down the left field line, but it's going to be well fouled into the upper deck. Right in that corner of the upper deck.
Oh, we're just sitting here, just having a good old time watching baseball, and next thing you know, you catch a baseball.
Boy, that'd be quite a view, wouldn't it? Those seats right there. You are in the bottom corner. That would be a good view of the game.
Look down at the Crawford boxes. You got the whole field right in front of you, and probably a great seat for the fireworks to follow tonight's game.
That's true. We're going to watch those fireworks.
Where?
As we are walking home and looking back, and that's how we're going to watch it. Marisnick is not happy with Dan Bellino.
Well, Marisnick has had a tough time. He was featured in this morning's local paper about his struggles, and he hit a home run Wednesday. That's not a bad pitch, Jake. He didn't like it. But good job of catching the ball by Jonathan Lucroy, and that is important to catch the ball.
Here's the problem for Marisnick. He has now struck out 32 times in 59 at-bats. That's the problem.
That's the matter.
That's the frustration. Top of the order, and Springer. Springer a strikeout, and then he reached on the air by Simeon in the fourth and came around to score. Used his speed and getting himself to second base on a fly ball to right field, and that turned out to be huge. Springer, the World Series MVP last year. That was well deserved. Man, he was flying all over the place in the World Series.
Well, I remember at one point too, there was some question whether, matter of fact, AJ Hinch, every move is scrutinized in postseason. He was struggling, and they asked, are you going to drop him or even take him out of the lineup? He said, nope. I think he drew a walk, and that set off everything for him for the rest of the postseason.
What? Check. Let's see. I'm just trying to see here. Here's what he did in the World Series, right? 11 for 29. That's a 379 average. 5 home runs, 7 RBIs, 3 doubles, and 5 walks. That's how you win the MVP.
That's right. Take that MVP and get married, which he did in the offseason.
Good.
Do it all. Yeah. Verlander was the tough one because he got married. He didn't plan to go to the World Series. His wedding was planned. Evidently, the entire guest party was already at the venue, and he showed up.
It was during the day of the parade, right? Maybe not the day of. Off of Manaya, and it's going to roll past Lowry, and that's going to allow Reddick to go to third and heads up. And the throw comes in, and the throw is wide.
And if he lets the ball go, it's an out, and the A's are in the dugout. But typically, pitchers will try to field the position, but it's also sometimes important to know where your infielders are playing. See where Lowry's playing? He's going over. He's going to field it behind the bag, but his momentum carried him too far. The ball just kept rolling, and Josh Reddick kept running. And you're right about be careful because Gary Pettis is very aggressive at third base, and with 2 outs, he put up the stop sign, and then the throw came back in, and it was offline a little bit.
So now you got to face Altuve with runners at the corners and 2 outs.
Well, Altuve is aggressive, as we have seen. He's been up twice, seen 3 pitches. Line drive to left, fly ball to right. So be careful in the first offering.
And the first pitch is a high fastball and a swing and a miss. How about that, folks? 9 hits and 17 at bats for Jose Altuve with runners in scoring position. That's a .529 average. He was lined out and flied out, and that one's up and away. Time now for Lowe's whole team together. The numbers for Jose Altuve last year, and those are some MVP numbers. 346, 24 homers, 81 RBIs, 39 doubles, 32 steals, 112 runs scored. Yep. That's how you win the MVP. Well deserved. Jose Altuve.
And $150 million extension. Wow. It's got to be an Astro for a while.
Well, he's led the resurgence. He's a sensational player. Fans absolutely adore him.
Absolutely.
He may be worth it.
You know, as we were talking about in our open, and guys back in the studio, some decisions have to be made by the Astros. As far as, I mean, they give Altuve the money, and you know the Astros are drawing well, but they still have to commit to some pretty good players. Correa at shortstop, Bregman at third, Gurriel.
Yeah, they got a couple years yet, and then they're going to have to open up that checkbook.
Jeff Luhnow, the general manager, is the one, the architect, to get them the World Championship.
Canna right there. Canna waits, and he's got it side retired. So a couple of runners left, and we're on to the 6th inning here in Houston. It's a 1-1 game.
The Rabbit Backpack makes his debut Saturday, May the 26th. That's against the Diamondbacks. First 15,000 fans get this awesome giveaway. Presented by Ross Dress for Less. Plus, the A's 50th anniversary season-long celebration continues with a special Swingin' A's celebration, a day dedicated to honoring a special team from the 70s. Make sure you grab your tickets to this special day. Athletics.com/tickets.
First pitch to Stephen Piscotty is a touch low. Piscotty, Lucroy, and Semien here in the 6th inning against Dallas Keuchel. Piscotty grounded out to third in his first at bat. And he drops this one into right field for a base hit.
That's a great approach against Dallas Keuchel. You wait, you wait, you wait, try to go opposite field. It's hard to say that, but it's something you have to do. And Stephen Piscotty just kind of let the ball travel deep right field. As Mike Aldrete, the A's assistant hitting coach, would say to all the players, there's a lot of hit that way, the opposite field, and Piscotty showing his ability to go that direction.
So here's Lucroy. First pitch strike. Lucroy hit one off of Keuchel in the 3rd inning. Keuchel raced after it and picked it up right near the first base line and flipped it to Gurriel, and they got Lucroy. Rolled foul. Is there any way Ray is a hitter? I mean, you know what Keuchel does. He sinks the ball, and he sinks it really well. He gets a lot of ground balls. Last thing you want to do here if you're Lucroy is hit a ground ball. So there's really not is there an adjustment you can make? It's hard to do.
It's hard. I mean, you have to start your swing, but you have to be patient and let the ball travel, because, you know, he tops out at 90. And in today's world, 90 is really nothing as far as velocity. Well, there's to your point right there.
Altuve, Correa, double play.
And if he's a ground ball pitcher, you figure he's going to get ground balls.
And he did there. In fact, it looked like that one got in a little bit on Lucroy. That right there is Dallas Keuchel at his best.
Well, you know, he puts runners on, and the old saying is a ground ball away from getting out of the inning, and ground ball got him 2 quick outs.
So back to the top of the order, Marcus Semien, who has struck out twice, both times looking.
You know, Piscotty's approach was really ideal because he waited, but he started to swing and waited, but instead of going out and rolling over, he stayed closed and went to the opposite field.
There's the number, 11 ground ball outs. See, and then that changeup that he throws, it really works its way away from right-handed hitters. Sinks a little bit and moves away. So really that changeup, it does 2 things. A lot of guys' changeups just go straight down, which is fine, but his, you get a little of both. And that one is rolled to the right side for a base hit.
I was waiting for Altuve to field the ball.
I was going to put down 4-3, and then I looked and there was nobody there.
But the Astros probably more than anybody will shift. And you know, here's a ground ball to second base, and where's it? Oh, Altuve's over there. You know, and look at Keuchel. He's upset because he just threw a great 2-seam fastball. Saw how it was moving away. Smart hitters aren't going to try to pull that pitch, and I think the more you face Keuchel, the more you become that kind of a hitter where you say, I'm not going to play into what you try, or the infield at least trying to get me to do. Doing it again now with Pinder. I mean, Pinder goes that way very nicely.
That one hit to left, down the line, and that baby's gone. Give the A's a 3-1 lead.
Just his second for Pinder, and also his second against a lefty. Of course, I bet if I gave you 10 guesses who the other one came against, you'd probably know who it was. A guy named Henry. But great swing by Chad Pinder. And there it is. Kind of a ball that didn't do anything except leave the yard very quickly. That young man is strong. He knew it was gone. But a shift on a ground ball that went to right field kept this inning going. And a couple of home runs given up by Keuchel give the A's the lead.
Well, Dallas Keuchel, I'm just guessing here, he's going to be more upset about the ground ball than the home run, because the ground ball would have been the 3rd out.
And he showed that he was upset after he threw the ball and realized there was nobody there.
Lowry rolls one foul. That is also the first hit for Pinder off of Keuchel. He had been 0 for 11.
Well, you know, the one thing, and again, congratulations to Chad Pinder, the big swing, the home run. But I would think under the circumstances in which the way Keuchel pitches, why shift anyway? Because the ball moves all over the place.
I agree.
And the more guys face him, the smarter they do get. And so great for the A's to go against the shift in the case of Marcus Semien. Remember, he struck out twice on pitches in, so you figure he's going to be waiting more anyway. Goes away. Pitch ran away from him. He took it perfectly to right field.
1-2 pitch to Lowry. He's hit high and foul. Here's another thought, Ray, on what you're talking about. Keuchel is a 3-time Gold Glover. Plays his position really well. I mean, he's almost a 5th infielder. Do you need to play somebody right behind second base?
That's a great point. No, you don't. That is a great point.
I mean, he's a little bit more special as a fielder than almost any other pitcher in baseball.
Well, great pitchers, in the case of guys who field the position, will do what Keuchel does. Watch as he delivers the ball. He will be square up to the. He'll finish perfectly right there. He's ready to handle the ball. The ball hit back to him.
And that's going to be Springer tracking down the drive by Lowry. Side retired. A's get a big home run from that man, Chad Pinder. High, deep, and gone. A's lead 3-1. 3-1 lead here in the bottom of the 6th inning. So Sean Manaea will pitch with a lead. As he'll face Correa, Gurriel, and Bregman. Heart of the Astros lineup. Astros come into tonight tied for 4th in the American League in runs scored. Last year they led all of Major League Baseball in runs scored. They scored 896 runs. Generally, if you get over 800, that's pretty good.
That's a great
If you get 900, that's almost unheard of. They got 896.
Nice touching moment at the end of the World Series last year when Correa, well, he proposed.
Yes, he did.
At the end of the World Series. I mean, really, that's scary. Scary because you don't know if you're going to win. What are you going to do if you lose?
Yeah, you're going to still propose if you lose. Honey, I'm a little bummed.
But by the way, would you marry me?
You want to get married?
Yeah. But I guess someone had the clubhouse manager keep the ring for him. Be ready just in case they did win.
And a 1-2 fastball, and he gets Correa swinging.
Well, how about a StatCast for Chad Pinder? This young man is very strong, and bam, gone. The launch angle tremendous. 32 degrees, 102 off the bat, 390 feet. And Adam, our great stat man here in Houston, said that Chad Pinder hitting .429, 9 for 21 against lefties, a couple of doubles, a home run, 2 ribbies before tonight.
That's why he's in there.
That's why he's in there facing them. And
Olsen grabs it. Kind of a half swing by Gurriel. Manaea says, thank you very much. So 2 away, and here's Bregman.
You see those numbers for Chad Pinder, but this ball just kind of reached at, and played perfectly was Olsen at first base and makes the put out unassisted. So a very quick 2 outs for Sean Manaea. See if he can get Bregman, get back to the dugout.
Bregman walked in the 4th, grounded out in the 2nd. First pitch is rolled, just foul.
Got the changeup, and he just threw a very good one to Bregman. And he gives a lot of credit to a teammate of his at Indiana State University. A great article that was written just recently. Tyler Pasek, who is doing some graduate work at Texas Christian University. Teammate that was throwing, he was throwing with Sean Manaea, and said, you know, your changeup was bad. How about this one? It's kind of like a split finger fastball changeup. And if you look at his last 2 starts against Seattle and Boston, the changeup was spectacular. And it's a pitch that he said in college he was a 2-pitch pitcher, fastball, slider. And now essentially he's got 4 pitches. He's got 2 and 4-seam fastball, slider, and changeup. And Jonathan Lucroy here are working extremely well. Last start and tonight again. Do you know, it's a funny thing about it, and I'm just thinking that when he was drafted by the Royals said, don't throw your changeup, scrap it. He was traded to the A's. The A's said, use your changeup. So you think if he was able to throw his changeup with the Royals, would he still be there? Because he was a top prospect that the A's were able to get in the Ben Zobrist trade. So little things like that, the A's have actually made some very good trades the last couple of years to acquire some key players, and Sean Manaea, one of the best.
Sitting on a 2-2 count to Alex Bregman. Waited on it, fouled it down.
And you throw 5 pitches, you get 2 quick outs, a strikeout and a ground out. Then you get Bregman now working the count, fouling off some tough pitches. Started the at-bat 0-2, trying to finish him off, especially with 2 outs.
Another 2-2. And high in here to center. Canna back it up. Canna near the wall. He's got it. So 3 up, 3 down inning for Sean Manaea.
Did not get into Matt Chapman. His screaming line drive over the Crawford, over the out-of-town scoreboard into the Crawford boxes. And how about a cement mixer, as they called it? The ball just really did not break. Chad Pender, his 2nd of the season. Back with a great note about his first hit against Dallas Keuchel. And a big one, a 2-run shot coming with 2 outs.
And we've reached the 7th inning. 3-1, the A's lead. First pitch to Chris Davis is a fastball a little bit inside. Chris Davis, a fly ball to right, a ground out to 3rd. And this one is skied on the infield. Gurriel now moving to his right, hanging in there, and he makes the catch.
If the roof had been closed, it might have hit it. That ball was way up. Well, you look at a beautiful night, and
sure is. And
you think, look at the sky, and you think, wow, it's rain, but this is nighttime, and what a beautiful night it is. Seeing the stars, and I guess they open the roof April and May only, as we have been here in the summer when it's extremely hot and humid. Close it.
Chapman had a good rip. Yeah, very few times have we sat up here, Ray, with the roof open.
That's right. It's a beautiful night.
A couple times, but not much.
Matter of fact, Stephen Piscotty came into the dugout, and he said, this is the first time I've ever been here when the roof has been open. It was with the Cardinals prior to this year.
McCann over. McCann is going to run out of room.
Pretty good trade by the Astros, and you know they did it right, because you know, as we talked again earlier, how they were losing, and all of a sudden they thought they were going to be pretty good. So what do? They got the veteran Brian McCann behind the plate. They got Josh Reddick, Carlos Beltran last year, picked up Verlander. But this guy has been very good. A lot of the pitchers talking about how much they enjoy pitching to Brian McCann. Max Stassi, formerly with the Athletics, also doing a very good job. Astros do have 3 catchers. Evan Gattis does not catch a lot, but he is there to catch some.
Yeah, you get your young nucleus together and then add to it.
That's right.
And that's exactly what the Astros do.
And you know that's what you do, because you know you're going to be good, and that time you say, let's complement our team with some veterans. And remember, Brian McCann, I think, had a no trade with the Yankees, didn't he?
I think he did. Yeah,
he had to accept to come here, and not a bad place to come.
But remember, Ray, the Astros got a lot of criticism. In 2013, they had the lowest payroll in baseball. It was $26 million, which it was. I mean, at that point, it was very, very low. That's a fair ball. Bounces off the side wall. Chapman is going to hustle for second. The throw to second is light. He's got a double. Well, Chapman, that ball, you hit a ball down that way, a lot of times it will hit that side wall, and what has to happen is it really becomes almost the shortstop's ball to retrieve. And
that's what Correa did, as this ball change up, and Chapman out of front. See where, wow. Just fair and off the side wall. Watch Correa, the shortstop, go after it and throw quickly to second base. Bullet. And just in head first slide safely. And good effort by Bregman. Could not get it. Called fair ball by Adam Hamari. But you're right about the shortstop having to go out there to get the ball quickly.
Well, and in fairness to what we talked about earlier with where the left fielder's playing, that's a play there where it would hurt the Astros to have their left fielder playing where he is.
Well, yeah.
So and we said, well, only the ball down the line, but a ball off that side wall. Because we've seen it here, Ray, where a ball hits that side wall and the runner can only go to first.
And you know, you think though where Reddick is playing, if that ball goes in the corner, it passes the side wall. Chapman's speed, he might have a triple, which is rare for a hitter to get a triple down the left field line, a right-handed hitter. Reddick, normally a Gold Glove right fielder, but because of Springer's ability in right field, Reddick can move over to left.
So 0-2. Thing is, Ray, you hit one down there, you got to get it past that guy too. And I got news for you. He can pick it down there, man. Look at him. You think you're going to slide a ball past that guy in foul territory? Not happening.
And you know what? He might stop the ball just before it's a ground rule double.
Step on it.
And then, like in New York, that young man did it in New York. He got fired. George sent somebody down. Get him out of there. Get somebody else to know if he doesn't know what a fair ball is. He's got his head in the stands, biting his nails. Got his glove on though.
Yep. He's ready. Olsen with a ground out and a fly out so far. Hey, we got a mound visit.
Hey, you know what the average is around baseball through the first month of April, Cap? Is
3.7.
Yeah, 3.5. So a catcher goes halfway. Is that considered the half?
They have cut the mound visits in half this year.
And the games are still over 3 hours.
3-1. We've knocked it down 4 minutes. Our time.
Is that what it is?
Yeah, it was 3:05 last year, 3:01 this year.
And you know, this time right now, I mean, this is critical. That's why Brian McCann went out to talk to Keuchel, perhaps even to say as a veteran, you know, what do you want to do? You got a runner at second, 1 out. How do you want to pitch the lefty? Matt Olson's great job of going opposite field probably enters the mind of these guys.
And that one's going to get through McCann, and that's going to help the A's as Chapman goes to third.
They got a short replay, and I would venture to say catcher does a good job, but the ball scoots between the legs. Comes up just enough as the ball hugs the ground. See him come up, and it stayed down. Just enough. When you do that, it goes right through the wickets, and you expect a little bit of a bounce, but he just could not get his catcher's mitt down to the ground quickly enough.
So 3-2 infield comes in, and Olson line drive, base hit left field. Olson did not try to do too much with it. The pitch was away. He kind of served it into left field. Line drive single, and it's 4-1. The A's lead.
You know, the one thing we're seeing with these young players, how much they are learning. Matt Olson, how many hits he's been going to the opposite field. Remember in Texas, the ball off the wall. This pitch down and away. You got the infield playing in, make solid contact, and you got yourself a run batted in. Started out 0-2, goes to 3-2. Slight shift. Just out of the reach, and if Correa's back in his normal position with the runner at second instead of third, that's an out.
You know what else is happening with Matt Olson, Ray, and it maybe because of swings like that with 2 strikes, he is not striking out as much the last 5 or 6 games. And he was striking out a lot. But all of a sudden, very little lately, and maybe, who knows, maybe he made a small adjustment somewhere.
You know, and I think, again, credit to Mike Aldretti, who this year is the assistant hitting coach. And, you know, he talks about on the bench a lot how many hits there are to the opposite field. And I think you start thinking about it as a player on the bench. Hey, maybe this guy's right. That if I think about it, maybe I can go to the opposite field. Okay, great point. Last 4 games, he has not struck out.
And he was leading the league in strikeouts for a little while.
And he was frustrated doing it.
Yep. Pretty deep right field. Springer's going back. Springer leaps, and it is gone. Canna has homered. It's a 2-run shot, and now it is 6-1. The A's lead. Like Tom Hallion, the first base umpire, went out there a little ways and made the home run signal.
Well, you could tell when Springer banged his glove against the wall, then a pretty good indication that it was gone. And for Mark Canna, how about in Texas, the ball is dropped over by Mazzara, and tonight this ball almost caught by Springer as he goes again to the opposite field. And you know what's close? Passing the base run. If he's not paying attention, Olson went almost to second base, and right behind him was Mark Canna as Springer went up trying to time his leap and just missed it. Springer right there. That's a great indication whose glove is on the field.
Well, we've seen Springer actually go over a wall further than that to grab a home run. It was a heck of an effort, but not to be. So 2-run homer for Canna, and the A's have busted it open here.
Heck, that was the grand slam in Arlington that he robbed somewhat of a grand slam by jumping way over the fence.
So 1-1 the count to Piscotty. Still only 1 out. Brinkman scoops that one up. So 2 away. There was a glove laying on the field after, and it's that youngster's right. No, it's the gentleman next to the youngsters whose glove fell down on the field. But it didn't look like either of those 2 people with the gloves out there reached over.
No,
it looked
they
like
did not
Springer
interfere.
went into the crowd.
No, you're right, and that was a great shot. They had that He did jump up, but the kids did not reach over. They just let the ball come to them.
So 3 home runs in the game. Chapman, Pinder, Canna. Side retired, but the A's do more damage. They score 3 times against Dallas Keuchel, 2 of them coming on Mark Canna's home run. So 7th inning stretch time from Houston. Good start for the A's so far to this big series as they lead it 6-1.
Sports California is brought to you by the Chrysler Pacifica Hybrid, America's first hybrid minivan. Test drive one today.
So the A's using the long ball. Mark Canna with the 2-run shot. So the A's lead it 6-1. 3 home runs against Dallas Keuchel. Sean Manaea so far 1 unearned run in 6 innings. A walk, 6 strikeouts, just 3 hits allowed. Coming into this game, the league was hitting 130 against Sean Manaea. That's tops in the league. So to update that a little bit, so he's allowed 3 hits in 6 innings. So in 42 2/3 innings, Ray, he's allowed 19 hits. Lucroy's got it. Fires to first, and McCann, who was trying to bunt against the shift.
Fans, we have the only bobblehead that honors our city in one of the most successful movies in cinematic history. It's called Black Panther. Oakland A's and Marvel are proud to release a glow-in-the-dark Black Panther bobblehead in honor of Oakland and hometown director Ryan Coogler. Fans can snag this one-of-a-kind bobblehead Saturday, May the 5th. That's against the Orioles, brought to you by Comerica Bank. You want 15,000 fans to get yours upon entering the ballpark. Visit athletics.com/promotions to grab your piece of Oakland history.
There's Gaddis, who takes just a little bit low.
Thinking of Brian McCann attempting to bunt. Nice play by Jonathan Lucroy to catch it. Fair ball, throw him out. But the A's have the 6-1 lead. It's in the 7th inning, and here's Brian McCann trying to lead off the inning. And think about the kid named Cisco Kid from Baltimore that did it against the Twins, down 7-0. And everybody was screaming at him. But boy, you have to do what you have to do to try to help yourself and the club win. If that means giving yourself up and bunting in a shift, you do it.
So 1-2 the count to Evan Gaddis. Reddick to follow. Pitch number 85 coming up, and Gaddis just holds up.
I think that's the main thing, is the fact that he's keeping his pitch count down. If Ryan Dull is loosening.
Yeah, even the no-hitter, 108, that's not bad at all.
Yeah.
Gaddis, the line drive, left center field, the base hit. So Gaddis a 1-out single. So hit number 4.
Well, the 2-2 pitch, and for Evan Gaddis, Paul Bunyan, as we like to call him, elevated fastball, and the big man can hit. Probably as good a bad ball hitter as there is in the game.
So here's Reddick. First pitch to Reddick is in the dirt. Indians beat the Mariners tonight 6-5 in Cleveland. So the Mariners have been playing pretty well lately, but they lose tonight. The Indians hit 5 home runs. Yonder Alonso hit another one. He's got 7.
He's unbelievable.
Yeah.
Started last year with the A's, and nobody could believe it. It's good to see him continue.
His batting average not real high, 220, but he's got the 7 home runs.
He got a nice 2-year contract. You know, after Santana went to Philadelphia, Yonder signed there, and probably, considering the circumstances, what he did last year, could have gotten more, but probably happy to go to the Tribe for 2 years.
Reddick with a mighty swing.
Look, you have to wonder with Ryan Dull throwing to the bullpen. There's the right-hander Joe Smith. He's getting loose for Houston. Ryan Dull getting loose, and you know, Marisnik and Springer and Altuve and Correa. You got some righties coming up after Reddick. Marisnik in the on-deck circle.
2-1 pitch, a good one. On the way to Reddick, and he swung and missed. Reddick had a base hit in the 5th. It was a bunt single. Not this time, though. Strikeout number 7 for Sean Manaea.
And you have to wonder, he bunted for a reason, and that's one of the reasons right there. Manaea very tough on lefties, especially with a big sweeping breaking ball. Took something off that pitch, but great location down and away.
Two away for Marisnik, the 9th place hitter. It's a good guy to get with the top of the order coming up. A little bit outside. Rangers went to Toronto and got a win, 6-4 over a Blue Jays team that's been playing well. Joey Gallo hit his 8th home run. Mike Minor got the win.
6 men in the rotation.
Yeah, he's number 6.
Wow.
So the Rangers get their 10th win. They're 10-17 on the year. Two-0 pitch to Marisnik. Foul at the plate. And the Yankees and the Angels will get started in just a matter of moments. At the Big A, Severino and Heaney. The pitching matchup there, so that will be an entertaining series. Yankees, Angels.
Especially after their walk-off yesterday, Sanchez with a 3-run home run the 9th inning.
The Yankees have won 6 in a row. Pop-up. Lowry over toward the line, and he's got it side retired. Hitting a runner left. We're through 7 from Houston. Sean Manaea and the Athletics leading 6-1.
comes through every time. See your local Toyota dealer today. Toyota. Let's go places. And by Xfinity. X1 will change the way you experience TV.
Handshakes. That would mean Sean Manaea is done for the night after 7 very, very good innings. So, boy, what a start to the season for Sean Manaea. When it's time for change, think Speedy Oil Change and Auto Service, your trusted oil change, tune-up, and brake expert. So the veteran Joe Smith comes in. Smith in an Astros uniform. He's bounced around a lot the last couple of years, but still a very good reliever. Not off to a great start this year. Joe Smith, sidewinder.
Every time with the Angels, what, a 3-year deal?
Yeah.
As a setup man, and
this is his
Cleveland, Toronto,
11th year in the big leagues. He's been around and he's always been pretty good. He replaces Dallas Keuchel, who finished giving up 6 earned runs in 7 innings. The long ball got him tonight through 98 pitches. Keuchel was very good early.
Perfect game through the first 4 1/3 innings. Chapman's home run, the line drive, then tied a couple of more, then a couple of hits in the double play. But this hit right here from Marcus Semien, the opposite field base hit in the 6th inning, might have been the one thing that really upset Keuchel to the point that next pitch after the base hit gave up a home run, a 2-run shot to Chad Pinder. Kind of turned things around for the A's.
Tough play for Bregman, and they got it.
I don't know about that one. It seemed like he was by the bag. Bob Melvin saying, hold up, they're going to take a look. Maybe. They're just looking at it. They're going to hold up, and Semien runs well. Let's see on the replay. That was a bang bang.
And they are going to look at it. This is always seems to be the best look. And he was safe.
Yeah, he was definitely safe. Just watching it the naked eye without the replay slowed down, it just seemed like he was past the bag by the time Gurriel caught the ball, and he did reach well, stretched nicely was Gurriel.
Tom Hallion was the gentleman who made the call at first base. He is also the crew chief. Hey, we got a review summary. We love these. This is through yesterday. Confirmed 43. That means definitely it was the right call. It stands. That means there wasn't enough to overturn it. 66%.
This is fast.
And overturned 107.
108.
108. that number gets me every single time, right? We are less than a month into the season.
Wow, you're right.
And it's 108 calls that were overturned. You cannot tell me that some of those calls would not have affected the outcome of the game if they weren't overturned.
I agree 100%.
108. Yeah.
Well, and if you're on pace, I don't know what the total was last year for the overturns, but if you're looking at, and I don't know what kind of grading they have for base umpires on challenges and overturns.
Well, I mean, you would think that
there's got to be something.
It's out there.
Yeah,
we may never see it, but I'm sure the information is there. Who has, the most calls overturned, which is obviously, you don't want to be on top of that list if you're an umpire. But I mean, that's a huge number. It's a huge amount of calls that were corrected, that got corrected, and that's the way it should be. That's why I'm okay with the instant replay thing. And Pinder shoots one to the right side. You love that swing, don't you, Ray Fosse?
Well,
I know you like the one that he hit the ball over there, but sometimes this one leads to that one.
Because what he just did and what Marcus Semien. Now, Pinder, if he hits 15, 20 home runs, depends how much he plays, but that's letting the ball travel. When you do that, good things happen, especially with shifts. And I think that more and more you're going to see hitters realizing that, yes, home runs are great, but open slots like that are even better when it comes to taking a pitch. And sure, you could try to hit home runs and strike out a lot, But how about those hits? And there's a bunch of them. The game that Hamels pitched against the A's got 8 hits, 7 opposite field hits. 7 of the 8.
That could have something to do with the A's getting off to such a good start offensively. Their approach has been pretty good. Lowry's 0 for 3. Have not said that a whole lot this year. And now the count 2-0. Lowry has grounded out twice and hit a fly ball to right field. And that one is belted to right field. Springer going back. Springer near the wall, and it is off the wall, and it bounces away from Springer, and it going toward the line. 1 run scores. Pinder racing around third. He will score. Lowry's got a triple, and it's 8-2 on the A's lead.
He could not have hit it in a worse place for it not to be a home run. A ball crushed, a couple of hits, nice challenge, overturned, Pinder with a base hit, and Jed Lowry very close to a 3-run home run. Look where this ball lands. Great swing by Jed. Gets some elevation, but he knows this park well. And you see where the ball is hit in the corner in right center. And it's back. Looks like it's going to be a home run. That close to being a 3-run shot. But the ball, Springer thought he had a chance. The ball hit the wall hard, came back at an angle. And really, he hustled with the ball on the warning track. It just kept running.
So for Lowry, his first triple. 2 more RBIs. He now has 26 runs batted in this year, and the A's now have an 8-1 lead. 10 hits now for the Athletics. So Joe Smith, who before this outing, you saw his ERA was over 8, and it's not going down. Is there still nobody out? Infield has to come in for Chris Davis. Not always a great idea. And that would miss somewhere. 1-1. The Lowry month in Oakland history, month of April. How about that? He tied himself. RBIs, he's got a shot to pass Reggie and Jason Giambi for most RBIs in the month of April. He's been terrific. So
that's some good lists.
That's a good list. Dave Kingman had 26 back in 1984, right?
Yes, he did.
Big Dave Kingman.
King Kong.
Check swing by Chris Davis, 2-2. Dave Kingman never really got cheated.
No, he didn't. Tyler McHugh on the right, former starter, now the reliever. On the sip.
The lone lefty. Joe Smith, his free agent contract that he signed with the Astros, 2 years, $15 million. That's a good deal for a reliever. And he gets Chris Davis swinging for the first out.
Well, it is a different look, and we've always said that about Joe Smith, that kind of the drop down sidearm. But with Simeon, a base hit. Here's the pitch cast, the big sweeping breaking ball. It starts way inside, ends up outside.
Well, Joe Smith, free agent. I think there was a small group of free agent relievers who got really good deals.
That's right.
But they signed early.
Signed early. You're right.
And Joe Smith was one of them.
Well, look, Gregerson went to the Cardinals, and I think he got a
pretty good deal. Yeah. There was 2 guys out there that.
Yeah, you're right.
Jumped on him in, I don't know, maybe the month of November, early December. it ended up being a very, very smart thing to do.
Well, they seem like some starting pitchers, Jake Arrieta in particular, and some closers.
Smash to Altuve. He knocks it down. Lowry has to hold. So Chapman, I don't know that you could hit that ball a whole lot harder on the ground. Altuve went down to a knee, kept it in front of him, and threw him out. A.J. Hinch is coming out. So with Matt Olson, the left-handed hitter, coming up, A.J. Hinch, he wants Tony Sipp. So we'll be back. A's leading 8-1.
By Lagunitas. Plus, the A's have teamed up with Star Wars for a special Star Wars and Matt Olson themed bobblehead. Special tickets are required to receive the bobblehead. Clear your calendar. Be at the ballpark on Friday, May the 25th against the Diamondbacks. Always great fireworks. This is a special night. Enjoy Oakland's best fireworks with a Star Wars twist. Visit athletics.com/Star Wars to get started. First of about 7 fireworks shows this year.
All right, here's Tony Sipp to face Matt Olson. Thinking about this, Ray, maybe at home. Well, it's 8-1. You got to go lefty. And I think this may be a situation where the only lefty that A.J. Hinch has is Tony Sipp. Sipp's only pitched in 4 games. He's been on the disabled list. He has struggled last year. He struggled this year. Maybe this is his job is you got to get left-handed hitters out. If you could, yeah, exactly. Maybe even though it's an 8-1 game, a guy like Tony Sipp, if he's your only lefty, I don't care how good your bullpen is, you will need him at some point to get somebody out.
And if you only have one, that's why A.J. Hinch, as the season progresses, just like the A's now with Danny Coulombe back, with Ryan Buchter going on the DL, one left in the bullpen, you have to pick the time you're going to use him.
So this may be a confidence builder situation.
That's a great point. A great point.
Olson had an RBI single. Swing and a miss there. Sipp, this is a final year of a contract. He signed a pretty big contract with the Astros. He was not very good last year. And they need him to be better. One and 2 to Olson. Missed outside. A's with a couple of runs here in the top of the 8th inning to extend their lead to 8-1. Full shift on with Bregman, the lone infielder, on the left side. High fly ball center field. Marisnik backs up. Side retired. But the A's get 2 runs on 3 hits. Bottom of the 8th coming up. The Athletics leading the Astros 8-1. By your local Toyota dealers. 8-10-1 for the A's, 1-4-0 for the Astros. Manaea great again. He's been great every outing, especially great in the no-hitter. But tonight, 1 unearned run in 7 innings. Chapman, Pinder, and Canha home runs for the Athletics. So far so good in the ballgame with the A's leading 8-1. Sean Manaea is done for the evening. So when it's time for change, think Speedy Oil Change and Auto Service, your trusted oil change, tune-up, and brake experts. It's Ryan Dahl coming in. Dahl making his 4th appearance. As we mentioned early in the show, the A's have 9 relievers. They have 8 right-handed relievers and 1 left-handed reliever. Font, Casilla, Dahl, Pagan, Petit, Trevino, Hatcher, Trinan. There's your 8 right-handed relievers.
Did that all from memory, didn't you?
Yeah, I do. Yeah, right.
Boy, you're the best.
So Dahl will face the top of this order. First pitch. Slider steps in there for a strike to Springer. Springer has reached base a couple times, has scored the only run. Right side, right off the end of the bat. 1 out.
Smart Play of the Day brought to you by your California Ford dealers. How about Sean Manaea coming off a no-hitter tonight? Spectacular. As he went 7 innings, 4 hits, an unearned run, a walk, 7 strikeouts. No earned runs last 18 innings, and he had everything working. Fastball both inside, outside. The bunt, nice play by his catcher, Jonathan Lucroy. Gets the put out of Brian McCann. And just a whole hum night for Sean Manaea. As Adam, our great stat man, said, 3 for 20 and 5 strikeouts for Sean Manaea against the right-handed lineup of the Houston Astros. So good job by Sean Manaea. I think a lot of that could contribute to the changeup, that newfound changeup, because 3 consecutive starts he's been outstanding.
Altuve with a line drive base hit. So Manaea came into tonight with a 1.23 ERA. Now his ERA 1.03. That continues to be tops.
2, 3, and 5.
Yeah.
Pretty good, huh? Cole, Verlander, and Morton, all with the Astros, 3 of their 5 starters.
A's will see Cole on Sunday. Sean Manaea, a great season so far. Here's Correa, Altuve aboard. That is hit number 5 for the Astros. Correa is 1 for 3. He knocked in the only run for the Astros with a single in the 4th. Carlos Correa. Missed again. Now it's 2-0. So Dahl takes a little time. Grounded to short, hit hard. A's may be able to turn 2, and they do. 6-4-3 on the double play, and that will do it for the Astros in the bottom of the 8th. We have reached the 9th. 8-1 A's. and Kelly Johnson bring you the Happy Hour, also available to listen live and as a podcast on NBCSportsBayArea.com. The Happy Hour. Three very happy people: Greg Papa, Ray Ratto, and Kelly Johnson. Three of the happiest people you'll ever meet. So, ninth inning, it's Colin McHugh. Former starter, now working out of the bullpen. When it's time for a change, think Speedy Oil Change and Auto Service. Your trusted oil change, tune-up, and brake expert. So the numbers out of the pen for Colin McHugh. We're so used to seeing him take the mound as a starter, and he always pitched pretty well against the A's. In fact, saw his name out there as anybody was looking for a starter. The Astros, if they got the right deal, they probably would have traded him during spring training.
But he's adapted well to the bullpen. I mean, you pick up Garrett Cole and Justin Verlander. A couple of spots are going to be eliminated. Brad Peacock, who started some last year. Colin McHugh. Morton came out of nowhere, and so he's in the rotation. Mark Canha, what a great job he did against Dallas Keuchel, going opposite field. Little backdoor two-seam fastball, and Springer, great effort, reached up, just could not handle it. He banged his glove against the wall. Another fan dropped the glove. Mark Canha, this road trip quite well, going opposite field, a couple of home runs.
And doing a good job in center field. This is what he did on Tuesday.
Mazzara, back, jumped, got it, don't have it, gone. Canha, couldn't believe it, turn around again, thank you. It's almost like, yeah, I got it, but no, maybe I didn't get it.
Canha now 4 home runs on the year.
You're right about the center field. I mean, he's taken hold in that spot.
Strike 3 call. Canha thought it was inside. He had come around the plate just a little bit.
Well, you're right, Kay, because where McCann caught it at the inside corner, that came around the little box to get to him.
So that'll bring up Piscotty with a 1 out. Piscotty had a single in the 6th. He's 1 for 3. Every game that Colin McHugh pitched as a member of the Astros in his career, and he got here in 2014, was as a starter. So this is indeed a new thing for him. Last year, 12 starts. He spent quite a bit of time on the disabled list. He started the season on the disabled list and didn't get back till the 22nd of July. Shoulder was barking a little bit.
Diego Casilla, who saved the game in Texas. Blake Trinan had a ball hit off his, I guess it would be his right leg, right above the knee.
It may be good that Casilla was able to get the save.
Right.
Did not need Trinan. And then an off day. And tonight, hopefully, the score remains one-sided and give Trinan a little extra time. Strike 3 call. So back-to-back strikeouts for Colin McHugh here in the top of the 9th. We'll be back with you tomorrow for game 2 of this 3-game series. Daniel Migden, Lance McCullers. It all starts with A's pregame live at 3:30. There's your pitching matchup. McCullers 3-1, 4.67 ERA. Migden 2-2 ERA at 3.86. So a little earlier start tomorrow. Hour earlier. Lucroy fouls it straight back. So a quick 0-2. McHugh throwing strikes. Jonathan Lucroy hitless tonight. The A's have 10 hits. They've doubled the hit total of the Astros. Strike 3 called. How about that? Colin McHugh strikes out the side. All 3 strikeouts looking. 9th inning coming up. A's leading 8-1.
Was Chad Pinder, his second of the season, both coming against left-handed pitchers, and that ball just stayed right in the middle. Hit it, looked at it, dropped his bat, started trotting, because when you're that strong, you hit it that hard, you know it's gone. And it was. That gave the A's a 3-1 lead. Chad Pinder back. Remember, he missed some time due to a hyperextended left knee. Santiago Casilla coming in. He's 1-for-1 in save opportunity. That coming in Texas. 7th appearance for the veteran right-hander. Okay, your great point about Blake Trinan. You get Ryan Doe, you get Casilla. In the 8th and 9th, you have a starting pitcher going 7.
It's beautiful.
And that is a beautiful thing. You're right.
When it's time for change, think Speedy Oil Change and Auto Service. Your trusted oil change, tune-up, and brake experts, and it is Santiago Casilla. You get the final 3 outs. Macy Gurriel to lead things off. Gurriel, Bregman, and McCann. 3 scheduled hitters. This one rolled to the right side. Olsen has it. He'll take it himself. Out number 1.
Kind of my count, a very good pitching matchup tonight with Keiko against Manaea. Had Keiko with 13 ground ball outs, and Manaea with 11 fly ball outs. Huh. So a little bit kind of a different type of pitchers, but both very effective. And for Sean Manaea, an unearned run, and that's it. Another great performance by the A's left-hander.
So with 1 out, here's Bregman. Bregman goes after the first pitch. Towering fly ball toward Cannon center, who backs up. 2 outs.
For some reason, the crowd just does not react every time an A's player hits the ball to center field the way they do when the Astros do. But that's a big yard. And remember, the Towles Hill is no longer there, as we experienced that last year, which has to make it great for center fielders. See the hitting background, the green with the star, that used to be Towles Hill. They put the nice restaurant above the center field batter's eye. Another restaurant over to the right.
Torchy's.
Torchy's, that's good.
Torchy's Tacos.
Shell gas is very expensive here too, by the way. All gas is expensive. And don't they manufacture a lot of petrol here?
I bet it's not as expensive as where we live.
No, that's true. That's true. Lost my head.
0-1 to Brian McCann. McCann is 0 for 3. He's trying to wrap up what would be a very nice series opening win. It's not easy to hold down this Astros offense, especially in this ballpark. And Sean Manaea did it tonight. 7 innings, 1 run, and it was unearned. He's happy.
Yes, Scott Emerson extremely happy, and boy, after the Seattle game, even more so after the no-hitter. And tonight's probably going to be raving again about the changeup that is thrown by Sean Manaea, and what a difference it really makes in him. And those changeups, you get the rollovers, you also get the pop-ups. A smile on Emo's face. And there's Steve Lucinich popping his head up. He must know that Emo's on TV.
Well, no, it's like the rally monkey. There's a certain criteria when Voos comes out. Like if you're close to a win, he's going to come out. If you're down by 1 or tied going to the bottom of the 9th, he's going to come out because you're going to get the rally. Now, if it was the Astros 8 and the A's 1, Voos nowhere to be found.
He gone.
Swing and a miss, and that is indeed the ball game. Nice, quiet 9th inning for Santiago Casilla, and a very nice way to start this 3-game series here in Houston. The A's defeating the world champion Astros. So Sean Manaea gets his 4th win, and the A's have now won 9 out of their last 11, and they raised their record to 14.